Shalom Evracha. I would like to wish you a good day. Today is the Hilula of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, and this week is the Hilula of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai Alav Shalom. So I just arrived from Morocco. I went there to visit my grandfather, Rabbi Chaim Pinto, in Casablanca, Rabbi Chaim Pinto, and Elisawera, which you will see later some pictures. And I would like just to tell you the impact that I had when I went to Morocco. First, it was very excited to fly from Tel Aviv direct to Morocco. I mean, for never there been any diplomatic relations between the both countries. And it was very exciting to arrive to Morocco as a Jew, as an Israeli, with my passport. I have two passports, Moroccan passport, Israeli passport. And I can show both of them with no problem. Things that I couldn't do long time ago. And it was a dream. It was a dream that I had for 72 years. All my life I was dreaming this kind of dream that one day one day is gonna come, that I will go to Morocco direct from Israel, or from Morocco direct to Israel. Why that happened? The dream came true. It's incredible. It's amazing. For me, it's a miracle. For me, that's what we will see before Mashiach will come. I think Hashem, He prepares us. On one hand, we see wars. On one hand, we see a lot of troubles in Israel, all over the world, Russia, Ukraine. On the other hand, we see as well things that Hashem is doing some kind of orders that we don't know. Only Hashem knows. What it is the impact, my own impact that give me some excitement and happiness this week. First, this is the first time that I was open with my grandfather. All the time, when I go to Morocco, I don't go direct. I have to go through other countries to go to Morocco. Today, no problem. It was from the Holy Land to Morocco, which for me, Morocco as well, it's the Holy Land, because there is a lot of Tzadikim there. A lot. Thousands of Tzadikim in Morocco. I think what Morocco gave us during generations, during hundreds of years, is the respect, Emuna, that we had on the Tzadikim. The Tzadikim, they've been our leaders. It's not like for some other countries that the Tzadikim, they had no power with the community. In Morocco, the Tzadikim had the power. You know that in Morocco, the Tzadik, he can give an order that if there is a Jew who does something bad, he can put him to jail. He can call the police, Moroccan police, because the kings of Morocco, they were so kind to the Jews, so they give them the power that whatever they decide, it will be accepted. You will never believe this, but this is true. The rabbis in Morocco, they had that kind of power. So the people, they consider the rabbis not only as their rabbis, their leader, like their kings, but respect. Because the rabbis, they did not look for glories, for honor. They look only for the goodness for the people, what is good for the people. They did not take care of themselves. Look Rabbi Chaim Pinto, my grandfather. My grandfather, alav shalom, every Friday, he will go with some people knocking at doors from house to house to collect food for the poor people. Who can do that? Who can do that? There is some people, old people, that 40 years ago, they told me that sometimes they were among the people that they've been invited by Rabbi Chaim Pinto, that they followed him with some carrying baggage to collect food for the poor people. This is something that we cannot imagine, and it's hard to believe. You understand, my friend? This is something that it's hard to believe. And besides this, today there is a lot of social office who help poor people. At that time there was no offices for cooperation to help people who need food, who need money, who need to pay rent. Rabbi Chaim Pinto was everything. He will do everything, you know. I heard a beautiful story about a man. His name is Hanania Azulay. This is the grandson of that man who told me the story. He told me that one day, Rabbi Chaim Pinto, alav shalom, he asked him, but you have the age to get married. Why are you not married? He said, Rabbi, I have, Baruch Hashem, the girl to marry to, but I have no money. I have nothing. Even to do the wedding. At that time, the wedding, it cost, maybe it will cost $100, because at that time, the guests were only families. And it was very rich. There was no salon. All the marriage were in the house. The marriage was 10, 15 people, no more than that. The marriage before. So just to let you know, and the rich people, they will not invite more than 50 people. Not like today, 1,000 guests, music, all the expenses. At the time, it was very, 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 it was very, 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 very humble weddings, because people were not rich. And if the rich people, they will not spend money for rubbish. Today, people, they become poor people because they spend everything for the wedding, and they have nothing left. At that time, it was very, 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 very generous, normal wedding, 10 people, 15 people. So Rabbi Chaim Pinto, he looked at him, he told him, Hanania, you go to X place, you will find there money. You will find there X amount of money. And then bring me that X amount, and I will give you what you need. So Mr. Azulay said to Rabbi Chaim Pinto, Rabbi Chaim Pinto, the place you tell me to go to, there is thousands of people that work there. That kind of money, anyone will find it, he will take it. So Rabbi Chaim Pinto said, don't worry, no one will take it. So he asked Rabbi Chaim Pinto, but maybe poor man, the one who lost it, he will come to look for it. So he told him, anyway, that money, it doesn't belong to him, because that man as well he stole it from somebody. So that somebody, we don't know who is. So that money, it doesn't belong to nobody. It's yours. You take half of it, and half for the poor people. He went. The grandson, he heard that story direct from his grandfather about 50 years ago. So he went and he found, a small wallet. He opened it, there was their money. He came to Rabbi Chaim Pinto, and Rabbi Chaim Pinto told him, half for you and half for the poor people. Well, my friend, when you hear that kind of story, what else you have to say? That's the way the rabbis in Morocco, they were behaving with their community. When sometimes there was no rain in Morocco or Essaouira, so Rabbi Chaim Pinto, he will invite all the community to go outside the city and to pray to Hashem for the rain. And always their prayer was accepted. My friend, they were so connected to Hashem. Retzon Yere'av Ya'aseh. Because the Tzadikim, they respect Hashem. Whatever they ask from Hashem, what Hashem accepts, because Hashem as well. He see them how they served him. I mean, this is something that we've been, I would like to tell you a personal story. I remember when I was a baby, 8-year-old, 7-year-old, I will never forget when I needed something, I was a baby, I was a boy, I was a child, but I heard so much about my grandfather, my grand-grandfather, about my grand-grandfather, how they were acting with the poor people, and I saw my father, how he was helping the poor people. So I wanted to do as well, the same. So since I was a baby, I was doing chesed, tzedakah, ma'asim tovim. It was in my ADN, to help people. I mean, this is, for me, money has no value because it's not mine. Because Hashem give you the money to spend it, not to burn it, to do good things with it. I mean, there is people who they give too much value to the money just to keep. So what value it is? You just keep it. You don't take advantage on your money. Other people don't take advantage. So this money has no value. No value. You know what it is a value? When you invest your money, and that give you give you benefit. David HaMelech said, Pizer natan ha'evyonim v'tzidkato omedet la'ad. David HaMelech said, you invest your money with poor people, and then you have the benefit for all life, all generations. My grandfather, Rabbi Chaim Vital, said that a man can do all kinds of averot, and he will lose all the mitzvot that he did. One mitzvah he will not lose. What mitzvah? Tzedakah. When you do tzedakah, you don't lose the mitzvah of tzedakah. Never you lose it. The mitzvah of tzedakah is so strong that you can never lose it. My friend, Rabbi Chaim Pinto alav shalom, that was his life. So I was telling you, when I was a baby, I remember, sometimes I needed money to help somebody, and I used to go to the cemetery to pray to Hashem, to pray with the zichut of Rabbi Chaim Pinto that something happened. And I'm sure that always that happened. One day, I went to one bar in the Essaouira to collect some money because I promised a family to buy them something like a fish or chicken, because they told me they didn't eat chicken, fish, meat for weeks. They only had bread. So I went to a bar to collect money. There was there a man, his name is Malka. I forgot the first name. And he was playing, cards, and he was losing. So when I went to ask him some tzedakah, he was so angry at me, he gave me, boom, he gave me he hit me. And he told me, get out from here. I was so upset at him. So I said, well, maybe now he's losing. I will come half an hour later. I came half an hour later, he was losing more. So, all his anger, he put it on me. And he took me, I was a baby, he took me, threw me out of the bar. He was a driver. He has a truck. He used to go every 2 days from Essaouira to Casablanca. So I told him, Mr. Malka, you will never, your car will never go where he is now, it will be stuck. The engine will not, there will be no start. And he got angry, he ran after me. I ran, he ran, but I was a baby. Baruch Hashem, I ran more than him. I went very, very fast. That was, something that, I don't know what happened to me, that I told him what I told him. So the people that, when they heard me talking like that, they told him, when are you going to go to Casablanca? He said, well, tonight. So they told him, well, we stop playing games now. We do a bit. If your car starts, all the money that you lost, we give you back. But if the car don't start, that means that you lost once and you will lose again, you give us the double. He was so sure that I was stupid. He was so sure that my words are nothing, and he will put the key and he will start and he will go. He was sure that everything is going to be good. So I told him, oh, it's a good bit, let's go now. But give me a few minutes to go home, to take my luggage, and to call the one who come with me, and that's it. From the place where the car, the lorry is stopping, from there I go to Casablanca. Well, people were exciting. There were a lot of people who went behind him to see what's going to happen. Is the car will start, will not start? They did not know what's going to happen. Anyway, at midnight, now I was home, I was sleeping. For me, I did what I did. I had to go home at 9 o'clock, but that's it. I did not know about that bit that they did between them. No. All what I know is I went home. In the morning, I saw Mr. Malka, because we have in the house of Rabbi Chaim Pinto, there where I was born, we have a synagogue there, my parents live there, so I saw him in the synagogue. So I was afraid that he came to hurt me or to, so he came right to me. He told me, well, because of you, I lost, it was talking to me in front of my father. And my father, who was listening, he told him, Mr. Malka, what happened? Tell me. He said, well, Rabbi, because of him, I lost a lot of money last night. My father, Alav Hashanah, he said, how? What, he stole money from you? What do you mean? He's a baby. So he told my father the whole story. My father, he smiled. He told him, but why why you hit me twice? He asked you tzedakah. You know, my son David, he helped poor people. He asked you tzedakah. Why you hurt him? Why? Because, why? Well, I'm sorry. So my father told him, well, ask Rabbi David, ask David to forgive you. And I told my father, Papa, I don't want to forgive him. And I showed my father what he did to my hand. When my father saw that, he looked at him, he said, well, for few groshim, few pieces of money you do that. Well, now your business is with my son. And I told him, no, I don't want to forgive him. And that car, no one will repair it. It will be there. I don't know, I was what a big courage I had to talk like that. Or what I can tell you is that Mr. Malka, all day, he did the best to try to repair the car. No technician had a chance to repair the car. It was terrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible for him. And the night, the people told him, you have to go to see Rabbi David. No, not Rabbi David, David, and ask him sorry. So he told him, he don't want to forgive me. So you have to give him some money. And you hurt him, you made him shame. So he came again to the house. So my father, he told him, I told you already yesterday, I cannot help you. You have a problem with my son, you have to make an arrangement with him. So I was not home. I was outside. So he was looking for me. There was nowhere to go. I was in the Mela, one street. So he asked, Baba. I was sitting by somebody. And then he came again. He told me, David, I give you this and forgive me. So I told him, no. I want you to ask me pardon in the bar in front of everybody. You made me shame in front of everybody. Because of you, they will not respect me anymore. I want you to ask me sorry in front of them. That's what he did. I went to the bar full of people, and then he stand up, and he bought me a Pepsi Cola, and then he bought me a sandwich. I'll never forget, fish with piquant, I remember. And then he gave me some money. So he told me, now you forgive me? I said, I forgive you on one condition. I want you to drive me. I never talk in my life. I never was sitting next to a driver. And I want to sit next to you, and I want you to drive me in Essaouira. He said, now? I said, yes, now. I promise you, you will never believe what happened. All the people, they came after me, after him. We went to the place where the car was stopping, and where it was parking, and then it's incredible. He helped me to go up because the trucks, the lorries are very, very high. I was a baby. And that's it. And I felt myself very comfortable. And I told him, with the zichut of Rabbi Chaim Pinto, you drive. He put the key, boom, and he starts. Can you imagine the people, how they were so happy? They knew the strength, the Emuna of Rabbi Chaim Pinto. The Emuna, if you ask me How I did, I don't know. I don't know. You can ask me, what happened? I don't know. I don't know. It's the Emuna. Emuna is it's like you have 10 fingers. You don't have 9, you don't have 10, 11. You have 10 fingers. Emuna is something that it's on ourselves. It's something on us. It's like it's a part of our eyes. It's a part of my fingers. It's a part of everything. I mean, in me, I see Hashem everywhere. Hashem is everywhere. So I believe in Hashem. Okay, I don't see Hashem. But His presence, it's everywhere. That's it. I don't have Emuna only on Hashem. I have Emuna on Tzadikim too. There is a lot of people. They believe only on one tzaddik, and the rest of the tzaddikim, they put them on one side. They are not correct. Of course, you can have only one rabbi, but when it comes to Emuna, you must have Emuna on all the tzaddikim, because all the tzaddikim are together. You know, my friend, today is the Hilula of Rabbi Meir. Today, all the tzaddikim up there are with him. Otherwise, he will be bored to be alone. The tzaddikim and Gan Eden, they are all together. All together. The Lubavitch Rebbe, he's not only by himself, or with Baal Tanya, or with Baal Shem Tov. He is with Rabbi Chaim Pinto, everybody. This is Emuna on tzaddikim. My father, Alav Shalom, every day he will light 50 to 60 candles of tzaddikim all the time. So I cannot explain how this happened. The car stopped, the car started. Well, this is something that I cannot explain to you. For me, it's something that it's like normal. You know, it's like a baby in the house, when he cries, he knows that his mother, she will feed him. He knows. He knows when he cries, the mother, she will hold him. He knows if he cries again, that means he wants to eat again. And he knows that his mother will come. Well, this is the way how I believe in Hashem. I know that whatever I want, there is only Hashem can give it to me. That's it. You know, my friend, this is something that I cannot explain you. When Hashem said, "Do bdikat chametz," why I have to search for the chametz? What's a big deal to eat chametz on Pesach? Why? We can remember all what happened to us. We can take a matzah and put it on the table to remember that our parents, they eat, dry bread. That's it. Why Hashem? He wants us to do a fight to the chametz. Why? To do a big fight to the chametz. There is no chametz in the house. Even you're not allowed to look at it. And you're not allowed to eat it if you had a chametz in the house. You're not allowed to eat it after Pesach, unless if you've sold it. Like today, we sell all the chametz that we have, so we can use it after Pesach. If you don't do the selling, you are not allowed to eat that chametz in the house. There was a man 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks after Pesach, he told me, Rabbi David, I have a lot of chametz in my house, and I forgot to sell it. I told him, you're not allowed to use it. Rabbi David, I have 20 bottles of whiskey. I have this. I said, my friend, too late. Too late. You didn't cancel it. You didn't sell it. You have to throw it. And that's why all this? Why? Why Hashem? Why? Tell me why. And besides this, we have 2 weeks of slavation. 2 weeks of slavation in the house to clean it, ba 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 ba. I mean, we all feel how our parents, they were slaves in Egypt. 2 weeks or 3 weeks of starvation, to clean, to take, ba ba ba. How? Why? My friend, this is the way. There is no answer to that question. Hashem he asked to do that, that's it. Hashem, he give us mitzvot that we don't understand. Why to do those kinds of mitzvot? Like a woman, that she needs to go to the mikveh, only a mikveh. If she don't go to the mikveh, she can stay. She can stay in the douche for 1 week, water coming on her, she will remain impure, only if you go to the mikveh. Why the mikveh? Well, Hashem said the mikveh, that's it. Why we're not allowed to eat not kosher food? What the problem? Not to eat not kosher food. What the problem? Everybody is eating the kosher food. Why I'm not allowed to eat kosher food? Well, because Hashem said, don't eat kosher food. That's it. I'm not allowed to eat not kosher food. That's it. It's a law. Hashem asked. My friend, this is something I have to feel like I was in Egypt. How can I feel? I've never been to Egypt. How can I feel? Well, if Hashem said, you must feel like you went to Egypt. But how? Well, my friend, if really you have the willing to respect what Hashem said, you will feel it. You will feel that you are part of those who were slaves in Egypt and they went out of Egypt. It depends what it is your relationship with Hashem. Look, my friend, all night we sleep. You sleep, and Hashem he don't sleep. Hashem shomer. Hini lo yanu v'lishan shomer Israel. You sleep, Hashem doesn't sleep. He look at you. And the moment you wake up, you breathe, you see, you hear, you walk. How many thanks you have to say to Hashem? I know a lot of people that Dominic didn't wake up, or some people that they've been paralyzed. I know some people that they were blind. I know some people that suddenly they had something very, very bad. So what do we do in the morning? Modi. Thank you, Hashem. What do you mean, thank you, Hashem? I mean, He saved your life while you were sleeping. You know, last week, my friend, we saw the biggest miracle of miracles last week. I saw a man. He swallowed a piece of meat, and that's it. That's it. He was dying. We saw him dying. And then a steward, just listen to this. A steward, somebody who served. It was that story happened in the hotel where I was. You know, a steward, nobody knows that he was a doctor. He was a steward to make some money. And suddenly, he came, he did what he did, and he saved his life. So we asked the steward, you are a doctor? He said, well, I'm going to have my license in a few months to be a doctor. So what do you do here? Well, I live in Portugal, just I'm here to make some money, and I was not supposing to be here. And is my friend who was supposing to be here, but he couldn't come, so I came. So, but who sent him? It's Hashem. This is a thing that we cannot understand. And the father of that boy, that Baruch Hashem, his life was saved by a steward, he did a big tzedakah before Pesach for the Aniyim. So, tzedakah tatzim mavet. And he support a lot the yeshiva of Rabbi Chaim Pito. So the zechut of Rabbi Chaim Pito was with him as well. My friend, this is this is what we have to take with us. Emuna. I always said, when my mother feed me when I was a baby, from one breast she give me milk, and from the other breast she feed me with Emuna. For me, there is nothing without Hashem. And there is nothing all my life. And if I need something, it doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't matter. Hashem doesn't want. That's it. Finito. No argument. We saw, my friend, Abraham Avinu alav shalom, all his life. Hashem give him test. He test him with Isaac. He test him. Hashem, you love so much Abraham. Why you test him? Why you make him suffer? Why? When you love somebody, you don't make him suffer. When you love somebody, you don't make him to be starved. I mean, Hashem, he made Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, all their life they suffered. David HaMelech, all his life he suffered. Hashem, you love them so much, why do they have to suffer? Well, my friend, that was the way. That Hashem, you want to see how much the Tzadikim are connected to him. And according to that, whatever the Tzadikim they ask from Hashem, he give them. You know, Rabbi Chaim Pinto in Isawera, he suffered a lot. You know that when there was a war, there was one of, when he was very old, he was 95 years old, Rabbi Chaim Pinto the first, in Isawera. We have a letter where we know this is something that we discovered a few years ago with my brother Rabbi Chaim. We discovered that according to one letter that it was found in Oxford University, and that letter, it said it was a Jew that he wrote a letter to somebody. He told him, I was in Isawera, and some barbar came to the Melach, and they killed some Jew, and they killed Rabbi Chaim Pinto. So, the one who received the letter, for him, Rabbi Chaim Pinto was killed about 200 years ago. But then the real story happened that Rabbi Chaim Pinto alav shalom, he didn't die. People thought that he was killed, but he didn't die. He remained alive 1 year. And after 1 year, he passed away because he was old. But he was well from the wound that he was wounded. It's incredible. And Rabbi Chaim Pinto alav shalom, when they hurt him and with the knife, he said in front of people, I don't want that the enemies, they will think that they killed me. I ask Hashem that I will not die from that, I will die normally. But, my friend, then he told them that a big zera was going to happen, and they had to be wounded so that the gezerah will be postponed. Like Rabbi Akiva, a lot of tzadikim, they took the place of Am Yisrael. They built kapara for Am Yisrael. Last week I was in Morocco. I went to the kever of Rabbi Meir Pinto, my uncle, that he was killed in Morocco by some people that came to the house to steal money. And but before he passed away, before he died, before that happened, he told people, he told to Mr. Sibuni a week ago, he told him that this story was about 50 years ago. And 50 years, yes, about 45 years ago. he told to Mr. Seboni that he don't feel that he will die normally. He told him he feel that he's going to die by something, because there is a gzera on Am Israel, and he need to go through that so that the gzera will be postponed. My friend, all of us, we know how much the tzadikim are strong. So today is the Hilulah of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. I invite you to light a candle. For me, the bigness of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, when we talk about the tzadikim, so just imagine who was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. Just imagine who was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. You have no imagination. No imagination. Yeah. So who was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes? That if we talk about him today, he's the only one of the biggest tzadikim who passed away 2,000 years ago. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. We talk about them. This is the biggest nest. This is the biggest nest that we talk about him. Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, his power, his strength was, he knew how to separate the bad from the good. That it's not easy. That is not easy. And this is the lesson. Sur mera ba'asetov. This is the nes. That was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. All his teaching to us was separate the bad from the good and be good. How do we know that? Because his rabbi, he had two rabbis, Rabbi Akiva and Elisha ben Abuya. Rabbi Akiva, he was a big tzaddik. He was like Moshe Rabbeinu. But he has another rabbi, Elisha ben Abuya. And Elisha ben Abuya, he was a big tzaddik at the beginning, and he became a big rasha. And he was studying Torah with him. And the rabbis asked Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, why you study Torah with that rasha? He told them, well, I have no choice. He has a lot of connaissance. He has a lot of there's a lot of Torah that he knows that I can study from him. But I know that in the Torah that he teach me, he mix it with bad. So I know how to take the bad and to keep the good. This is the nes, because it's not easy to take the bad from the good and to use only the good and to throw the bad. Well, this is the lesson of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, and this is the nes. The nes, if we have the success to separate the bad from the good, this is the biggest success of our life. And that was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. I would like to wish to all of you happiness, bracha, v'atzlacha, with the zechut of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes be with you. Amen, Karatzon. And the zechut of Rabbi Chaim Pido be with you. Amen. Hashem bless you. Thank you. And now you will see few pictures, few film from Morocco. Hashem bless you. Toda rabah.